So today's our first long trip in our electric Fiat 500. This is the first time we're going to be using the public charge network. So that's going to be an exciting adventure. So we're going to record the process and show you what it's like. So yeah, we're driving all the way from Gloucestershire to Norwich. So it's going to be 4 hours. And so we've got a couple of stops planned. And yeah, we'll probably do a few clips on the way. And then when we get to the first charging stop, we will show you what it's all about. See you in a bit. Where are we going? Oh, there they are.
There they are. There they are.
Right, okay. Oh, it looks like we've got to go all the way around. Oh man, there's loads of cars. Oh, I hope we can find one. Ooh, yep. Here we go. That way. Oh, no, apparently not.
Abort.
Oh no, maybe we can get through. Yeah, okay, I think we can get through.
Oh no, yeah, we're good.
Just rows and rows and rows of Teslas with their supercharger network.
Can we find a spot?
Right, what have we got here? Gridserve. Now, does green mean we can go in one? Are these people waiting? I don't know. Why are these people waiting? Out of service. Let's have a quick look. Let's see what we get. Reverse. So we're waiting currently for one to come free. There is one that's green, but apparently nobody's been able to get that to work. So I'll just wait and see if I can get into one shortly.
Right.
Okay, so here we are. We've got the got our, what's this? I think this is a Gridserve tritium charger. Let's open up the doohickey. Now I think we need, this is the first time we've opened this one up because I think we need both of them. So Kat's got the charger.
That is very heavy.
Plug it in. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, ready to go.
Card.
Yeah. Oh, I need my card. Please pay. Is it doing it? Did it work?
Oh, that's better. Processing.
Yeah. It's doing it. Payment accepted. Are we doing it? Is it charging?
Starting.
Starting session. Please wait. What's happening? Oh, something's happened. Yeah.
It's going.
It's doing it.
So on 43%.
50 kilowatts, 60 kilowatts.
Is that what it's supposed to do?
70. Oh, it's going up. It's still going up. 85 kilowatts. I can't remember what the charging rate of the Fiat 500e is. I'll put that up on the screen when I figured it out. But that seems about right, I think. So, okay.
Let's go get coffee.
Well, that was very easy. Right, so we're in Rugby Services. We've plugged in. That was very straightforward, I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty
Just
easy.
Plug it in, bleep your card, and away you go. Yeah, we're just stopping for a quick coffee and a snack, and then we'll be on our way. I don't know how much we need to charge to. I think the lunch stop that we've got planned is only about an hour away, something like that. So we don't even need to charge that much. We were on about 44% when we arrived. If we can get it up to 60 or 70%, that'll probably be more than enough. So yeah, we're just going to...
That's why we just got takeaway
coffee,
because then we can
just be here quick, nice and quick.
back out.
There were a few people waiting for the charge points, so we just had to wait a couple of minutes, and then one came free, and we backed the car in, and away we went. So it was all very straightforward, and well, here's to the next stop. See you next time. Blimey, well that was quick. We were only in there about 20 minutes, and it went from 43% up to 88%. So yeah, that was very quick. We just had time to grab a quick coffee and a snack, and ran back out, and we still got our hot coffees sat in the takeaway cups. So yeah, that was very smooth. You can see the various charging points are all still occupied, but we thought we'd better vacate them so that other people could make use of them. But yeah, so how did you feel about that experience, Kat, as the first time?
It seemed pretty straightforward. I don't think I would have a problem doing that on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, seemed really easy.
Yeah, I mean, we were waiting probably, a couple of minutes, so it was less time than it would have taken us to fill up with petrol anyway. So the fact that we had to go and take a comfort break and grab a coffee anyway meant that we haven't really wasted any time.
Yeah.
We're now sat here drinking our coffees. So
really efficient. Yeah, so much so still got coffee. So
right.
yeah.
But yeah, we're going to head off now to the Cambridge Services is the next stop in about an hour or so. But yeah, we'll probably top up again there. But I don't think it's going to need a huge amount at that point. So well, we'll just have to see. Right, yeah. Next trip.
See you in a bit.
Okay, so we're at the Cambridge Services. We went from 88% down to 48%, so a 40% reduction, and we've done, exactly 60 miles. How about that? So that's roughly 50% more miles for each percentage of battery, if that makes sense. So we should get about 150 miles out of the car, which is about right, I think. So yeah, we averaged, 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty decent. And now we're going to just top up for a few minutes, get it back up to somewhere in the region of 80%, and then we're going to go pop in for some lunch. But we're going to wait while we charge because we don't want to be sort of holding up the charging bay. So basically we're at one of these Ionity stations. The idea with these is that we can actually use the Electro Universe card from Octopus. So we actually have £10 credit. So Kat's going to demonstrate this. So we've actually got £10 credit on this. So we're going to use that up. And then any extra that we use will be just debited against our Octopus account. So that's one of the advantages of doing that. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll get some lunch. All right. Charging. How do I do it? There we go. Is that in? Yeah, we're good. Right. Should be able to just bleep it now, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of got some messages on there, but...
What's it doing?
There we go. It was
Connection
stuck on
okay.
someone's last bit, so
Hit
now
start.
it's okay.
Almost ready. Is it doing it?
It's communicating with the car.
Yes, it's very important that you've got to communicate with the car. Is it doing it?
Yep.
Charging. We certainly weren't at 0%. Yep, that's about right. 48%, 51 kilowatts. Okay, so that'll probably take. There you go, 86 kilowatts. Brilliant.
Which is the same as the last one.
Yeah, I think that's
that
actually
must be the max.
I think that's the limit that that the car can do. So that's fine. So we're just going to sit here and let it get up to about 80, 85, something like that, and then we'll pop in for some lunch and we'll vacate this space so that other people can use it. So back in the car, it's actually already gone up a couple of percent, and it now says estimated time to 80%, 18 minutes. So that's fine actually. That'll probably be just right. This is Kat's "why are you videoing me" face.
Why are you videoing me?
Well, we've got nothing better to do, sitting here, chilling out.
Checking my YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, how's your YouTube subscribers doing?
718.
718, that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, you going to catch me up?
No.
So generally speaking, you probably shouldn't need to sit and wait in your car while it charges. The only reason we're doing this is because we know we're going to be, probably an hour or so eating lunch, and we didn't have loads to charge, so we thought we'd just do this real quick top up. Otherwise, the car will be sat here. There's only 6 Ionity chargers here. There's another Gridserve section elsewhere in the car park. So, there are a few other options for people to use, but yeah, we didn't want to be sort of taking up a space really. So that's why we're sat here, and it's not going to be too long, and it's nice to have a little rest while we charge up. Well, we're already at 83%. I think we've only been here about 10 minutes, so I'm just going to let it go up another couple of percent, and then I'll go take it off charge. All right, I've just hit 85%, so I'm going to hit stop. And okay, charging is stopped. All right, I guess I can unplug it. All right, I think we're done. Right, on to our final destination, which is in Norwich. We've got 85% and we've got plenty of range. Okay, we safely arrived at Norwich. We are on 35%, an average of 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. And we've got 52 miles left on the GOM, which means we should be able to get back to a charging spot in Thetford before we run out, basically, which should be enough then to get us back to Rugby Services on the way back. So let's see how tomorrow goes. But tonight is a birthday party for my friend Mark, so hi Mark if you're watching, and yeah, we'll catch you on the other side of that. Ciao for now. Heck of a venue for a 40th birthday party, that's for sure. Okay, here we go, on our way home now. It's been a lovely weekend. Okay, ready to head home?
Yep.
Got a long way to go, 4 hours again.
Yep.
On the way back. First stop, just past Thetford, just for a quick top up, and then on to Cambridge again. So we're at the 5 Ways Roundabout, the SOMFG Barton Mills charging stop, and we've only got 10% left, 16 miles on the GOM. But we only need to be here for about 10 minutes or so, just to top it up at about 20%, something like that, so that we can get on to the Cambridge Services, which has got a bit more of a better selection for refreshments and stuff. So that's what we're going to do, just a very quick stop here, and then onwards. Okay. Is it doing it? Oh, there. Select plug, CCS. Connect plug. I think that's this one. Yeah. Oh, goodness. That was much more difficult than it should have been. I think it's doing it. It doesn't tell me what the charging speed is. Let's see if it's saying in the car.
Estimated time to 80%.
Okay, so it's doing. Yeah, it doesn't have any information on the actual charger, but that's fine. It's already up to 11%, so it's doing its thing. So we'll let it get up to about 30%, and then we'll head off. So we're just taking this quick opportunity for Kat to do a bit of stitching, because she's not been able to do much. She did a little bit on the way up on the motorway.
Yeah.
But
it's nice and straight. I can do it.
Yeah, but yeah, Kat feels a bit stressed if she doesn't get her stitching time in. But we've only been here about 5 minutes, and we're already on 27%. So we're going to be off in another couple of minutes, really. So yeah, and then just a very quick trip to Cambridge Services, and then we'll have a longer stop and a coffee. Okay, we're at 31% already, so I've missed my window. Let's go. CCS active charging session. Oh, I need to authenticate. I need the card to authenticate. Right. And stop. Has it stopped? I think we're stopped. There we go. All done. Okay, here we are back at Cambridge Services with 16%, 23 miles. And that was 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour for that last short trip. We're going to charge up probably 80+-ish % here, and then that should get us more or less most of the way home, but we'll see. We may have to stop at the Rugby Services again to grab some lunch, but let's see how we get on. So we popped in to get a coffee and a sandwich for later, but we got back and it's 86% already, so we're going to disconnect and move the car to a sort of separate spot somewhere else in the car park, so we can drink our coffees and then we'll get going again. So we're back at Rugby Services and it's full again. This is the problem. I think they've got a lot of chargers, but I think that means that a lot of people turn up because they think there's going to be a lot of chargers. The irony being that then they're all full. So It looks like there's a fair throughput of the cars, so we'll be here for a few minutes probably waiting. We only need to top up a little bit because we're on 44%, which is about 70 odd miles, and we need, is that all right? Something like that. But anyway, we need about 90 miles to get home, so we're going to charge up to 75% just to be sure, and that should give us a little bit of contingency. But yeah, we've got a few cars ahead of us in the queue, so yeah, this is probably the main drawback of having to wait for a car charging spot at this particular services. We've had no problems at the other ones, just this one, so that's the way it is, I guess, but that's okay, we've got some time. Okay, so we only had to wait 2 or 3 minutes, and now we're plugged in. Now we're going to get it up to about 70%, 75%. As long as we've got 100 odd miles of range, that should be enough to get us home with a bit of contingency. So shouldn't be here that long, and then we're going to pop into the services to eat our sandwiches that we bought at the previous services. We're back home with 30 miles, 29 miles, 20% left. We averaged 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour for that last section because there was a fair bit of traffic, so it was going quite slow, so that's probably why the efficiency was a little bit higher than normal. So yeah, we've got a few miles left, which is good because it's at least enough for Kat to get into work and back, but we're going to top up the car now for an hour or so and then top it up again overnight a little bit so that Kat's got plenty for the following morning. But for now, we're going to go back inside, we're going to have a nice sit down, cup of tea and a cup of coffee.
Yep.
And have a bit of a debrief and let you guys know how we thought the trip went and our thoughts generally on it. It's going to be pretty ad hoc. We're very tired, so it's going to probably be a bit of a ramble. But yeah, let's go inside. So we're back in the lounge. So I'm not doing this with any fancy lights or anything. This is going to be, I've just stuck the main light on, and I'm just holding my phone literally up on my knee here.
We're too tired for fancy.
We're too tired to do anything fancy. Not that we do anything super fancy with our normal chat videos or anything, but yeah, pretty tired. It's been a long weekend. So just as a brief summary of what we did, so we were going to my mate Mark's 40th birthday party in Norwich, and that's a 4-hour drive, 210, 220 miles, something like that. Each way, so we knew we were going to have to stop anyway, so it was a good opportunity to try the public charging network, and it actually worked all right, I think, because it was roughly between an hour to an hour and a half between stops, and that's fine for us actually. It gives us a chance to go and have a wee and grab a coffee or a snack or something like that, and I think that worked okay. So I think the lowest we got the car down was 10% on the way home. So we charged, I think it was Cambridge Services on the way out was the last stop before Norwich, and then there was no charging at the hotel, so we had to make it to Norwich and then back to a charging spot. That was probably the longest section without a charge, and that's when it got down to 10%. So that's why we did that little top up at that the 5 ways roundabout. And that worked fine. We were literally only there for 7 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah. It was really quick in and out. I think that was the only thing that a slightly longer range would have saved us, because I think the other stops that we made, 2 on the way up and 2 on the way back, we would have done
those anyway.
That wasn't really anything to do with the range. We would have stopped for a comfort break, snacks, whatever. So
it's funny actually, because we just sat down here and had our teas and coffees, and we literally just watched an EV man video about how much range you actually need, and it was quite funny because he was talking about what sort of distance or how long people tends to want to go before they have a stop, and for us it's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours anyway. So our car, for reference, a Fiat 500e, can do, I think, realistically 150 to 160 miles, and I think the most we did in any one go was about 90 miles, something like that, and that was fine. So we were able to top up up to 80-85%, something like that, pretty quickly. And in fact, often it was the case that we would pop into the service station for 20 minutes, grab a coffee or something, and the car was more than enough charged in that time. So we weren't really ever waiting particularly. The only time we had to wait was for the a couple of the charging bays to open up at the Rugby Services.
That seemed to be pretty busy on.
That was very busy. I mean, so it was that. I mean, it's the weekend. I guess that had something to do with it. But yeah, the throughput was pretty quick. I think the cars were coming and going reasonably quick, so I think we only waited for maybe 5 minutes the second time on the way home.
Yeah, I think overall I was really it felt really efficient. It didn't feel like you're adding any additional time or effort really to do that, to charge up.
Generally speaking,
while you're stopping
it coincided with us needing to go and spend 20 minutes doing something else anyway.
If you're someone that will drive for 3 hours,
not
4 hours, and not need to stop, then you probably need a longer range. But it works perfectly for us.
Perfectly fine for us. A few observations. This was the first time we've ever used the public charging network. We used how many different ones? There was the Gridserve one at Rugby, then an Ionity one at Cambridge Services, and then on the way back we stopped at I can't remember, MFG, and then again at Ionity at Cambridge, and then again at the Gridserve at Rugby, and they were all different. They all had a different procedure for plugging in and charging. So some of them you had to bleep your card first before you plugged in. Some of them you had to plug in first and then bleep your card. The Gridserve ones we had to use just our credit cards with just offering up the card to the card reader. Whereas the Ionity ones and the MFG ones, we were able to use our Octopus Electro Universe card, which was good because that actually gave us a discount from the Ionity ones, which was nice. I wasn't expecting that. So I think typically the price of per kilowatt hour was about 75 pence per kilowatt hour, whereas for the Ionity ones we got a discount which brought it down to I think it was 63 pence per kilowatt hour. I actually quite like the Electro Universe app actually, because it shows you after you've finished charging, it shows you the statistics of how many kilowatt hours you use and how long it took you and that stuff, which you don't get obviously if you just use your credit card at the other contactless payment ones. That actually brings me on to the sort of the issue of costs. And I think I did some calculations while we were waiting in the hotel before we went off to the birthday party, and I calculated that in order for it to be cost parity with our old Honda Jazz doing that sort of journey, it would have the price of electricity from the public charging network would have had to have been down at 50 pence per kilowatt hour to make it equivalent. So we did end up spending probably more money by using the electric car than we would have done if we'd had the equivalent petrol car. I think a Honda Jazz is not an unreasonable comparison to the Fiat 500. They're both small cars. That was interesting to me. I think generally speaking, if you can charge at home, that's absolutely the way to do it, because we're only paying 19.7 pence. If you're on Octopus Go, I think you can probably get it down to something in the region of 10 to 12 pence per kilowatt hour. But yeah, if you have to use the public charging network at the moment, the prices are way high. I think that will probably normalise in the next 6 months to a year. I think it's historically quite high at the moment, the price of the public charging network. So it's probably not a sort of fair comparison at this particular time in history.
But I think it means that if you've got, as we've got one electric car and one petrol car, then if we want to do a long journey,
we'd actually probably be better off in the petrol car.
To go in the petrol car.
Yeah, for now anyway. That might change.
I think it will probably change.
Yeah.
But we wanted to take the
it was an experiment,
obviously, and try it all out. So I'm really glad we did that.
Yeah, exactly. We hadn't tried the public charging network before, so that was part of the reason for doing that. And it was part of. And again, we wanted to document the journey to show people who maybe haven't got an EV and are thinking about it, the sort of practical considerations. And from my perspective, it was pretty straightforward, despite the fact that all the charging points seem to have a different procedure. We're reasonably sort of technically competent, I suppose. But
it is pretty easy. Each one tells you exactly what to do. Press this button, start, present your card, plug it in. It would be quite hard to go wrong. I
think once you've got used to doing it, it's like the first time you fill up with petrol. I remember back when I was 17, I was terrified of filling up with petrol for the first time. But this was pretty straightforward, and obviously there's no petrol that could splash anywhere, so it was all nice and clean. I think that if you've got strength issues with your hands, the cables are very heavy.
They are.
And I think that, you know, if you were frail, you might struggle with that. But and you may see in one of the clips, I was struggling because because I was trying to video it with one hand. I had the octopus card in the hand that I was also trying to hold the plug, and that was very unwieldy, and I don't recommend doing that. Don't make YouTube videos about plugging your car in. Get somebody else to do it. Kat was feeling a bit tired at that point, so she was
being unhelpful.
She was not being very helpful. So yeah, I think overall, I think the experience was pretty positive. It was much easier than I thought it was going to be. I mean, to be fair, we've watched a lot of, you know, EV Man and Mr. EV and other videos that have shown the process. So we had a bit.
I guess we felt quite prepared.
We had a bit of a heads up, and we were reasonably prepared for what was to come. But having done it now, I feel a bit more confident that we could do it again without too much trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And every single place we stopped, there were you know, spaces available, chargers available. Most of them were working fine. A couple of the Gridserve ones I think were down, but out of I think there was something like 10 or 12. Was it 8?
10, 8 to 10, I think.
But yeah, there were loads there, so you know, we didn't have to wait long. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be afraid to do it again, even on my own. I think, Kat, you said you'd be all right doing it on your own.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't like doing. I mean, Tim did all the driving because I don't really like driving, you know, long distances, even an hour or so. I'm not really that fond of. And Tim's very good
I
to
quite
me
like
and drives,
driving, so
yeah. So, but the charging bit of it, I'd have no problem doing that.
Yeah. All right. I don't think, have we got anything else to say? Don't think so.
Nope.
No, we never ended up eating our sandwiches in the end because we had such a big breakfast at the hotel. We've actually come all the way home, and we're going to eat the sandwiches tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I guess we'll sign off for there, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and see you around. Bye.